professors, other colleagues who are present here. Thank you for inviting me for the convocation. My apologies, some of the dates could not be met. We have been going back and forth between my office and Singhania's office, but we finally have the date. I'm thankful to all of you to have been invited here on this momentous occasion, which really belongs to this side of the week. Job well done. New life will emerge, new life will start. It's been long since I've been to college, so I know the feeling when you're actually going out of college. It's a very different life that you're going to start living. I don't have a structured speech. I was just thinking in the car while I was coming in here that it's been rather long, almost 36 years since I passed college. And I find it a little, odd for me, honestly speaking, to coming into the colleges because it's a very different atmosphere from the world that I come in from. But the good part is, you as a generation are going in a very exciting time. In our world, at least in our colleges, in our age, life is very different. Today, when I see life, I have two young boys, 21 and 18, I see life very differently. There is no doubt in my mind how the paradigm shift has taken place. This generation, which has never been so ever connected in this world and digitally connected, is going to be having different challenges, it's going to be having different aspirations. But trust me, you're in very exciting times. Not only you're in the exciting times in this generation that you are in, you're in a very exciting time as far as India is concerned. I go around the world, I go around to many campuses, I go around to many people that I go and see. Trust me, this is your time. This is your time as not only as the students, but as the citizens of this country. You will find a very different change in the world when you step out. Sometimes challenging, sometimes scary, sometimes very different than you will find from your homes and from your colleges and universities that you're passing out. I always believe, and I strongly believe, that as a nation, we have failed as far as education is concerned. But for the private universities, but for the private initiatives, I don't think so that these temples of learning we started post our independence have really picked up the speed for the generation that we need to be educated. This country, which is the youngest country probably in the world today, barring, I think, African continent, but we as 1.2 billion people with the median age of 26, can you imagine 55% of the population of that median age, how this is going to reflect as we go along? For that, I have to say, our education mechanism somewhere has failed. We have not been able to connect with the aspirations of a lot of students, a lot of younger generation. I see a lot of people, I interact with a lot of students, I interact with a lot of people who come to the corporate world. Many times I've seen educated but not employable. Because that is two different things. Your degree in hand is not good enough in today's world, I can tell you. There is much more than the degree that you will need when you go into the corporate world. Mindsets need to change. You need to think out of the box. The world is very different out there. Challenges are very different out there. People talk about that once we step out with a degree or a diploma in our hand, jobs are going to find us. It does not work like that. When India was growing at about 9%, 9.6% in the years of 2004 onwards to 2008, 2009, everything looked good. Everything looked hunky-dory. People were getting jobs. We were actually growing at a breakneck speed. And I thought it was India's time. But I have to say, with the global meltdown, with our own self-goals in India, with our policy not really keeping in sync with the way the world was going, we are seeing the depression, or we are seeing the recession. My only belief is, around the globe and around India, there should be no double-dip recession, because that will really hurt us. We are growing at about 5% today. When I go and meet a lot of stakeholders in the government, and I meet a lot of people, the answer is, it's not bad. 5%. Look at US, it's growing at 1%. Look at UK, it's up 1%. Europe at 2.3%. India is doing 5%. We're doing well. And I think that's a delusional and a denial statement as far as I'm concerned. India has to grow at a double digit. India has to grow at a double digit for a long time. For your aspirations to be met for the next generation aspirations to be met, for this country to stand where it should be standing in the World Economic platform. Goldman Sachs says that 2050 India will be the third largest economy. It's a great statement, but it's just intent. You, people like us, will have to work towards that intent. India can grow to that extent, there's no doubt in my mind. With the younger demographic population dividend that we can have today, I hope it does not become a millstone tomorrow. This is a country which is going to give you a lot of opportunities, which is going to give you a lot of jobs. When you join the corporate world, you have to realize and you have to keep in mind, what does a corporate look from younger students when they come in, the first time employable people who come in. In my organization, I'll speak about it in a few minutes and tell you how my organization has grown over the years and what challenges that we face to the world out there as far as people, resources, licensing, government interventions. There's enough for you to handle. But when you come into a group, in any corporate world that you are going to go as managers, keep in mind, you have to work with integrity. There is no substitute to hard work. I can tell you, people talk about intelligence, absolutely that's a given, that's why you are where you are today. But that intelligence needs to be converted into action. Your good faith, your integrity is paramount. Never compromise on that. A short-term goal will take you probably a little bit further ahead, but will it just make your life as a professional when you want to achieve much greater heights? It's not going to happen. I always have believed it's really your attitude, not your aptitude will determine your aptitude. Keep that in mind, because if you do not have an attitude which is that I will think differently, I will work differently, I'm in for the organization. I can tell you this nation will not be made if each one of us, from any and every level, do not work for the nation. And that is where the sum and substance of this country's problem lies. I travel a lot. I used to travel a lot in 80s in Japan, and I've traveled a lot in China over the last few years. There's always been a tussle which I see and I read, India versus China. This keeps on happening, dragon versus elephant. And this discussion has gone back and forth many times. The difference being what we see in both countries. Yes, of course, there are different dynamics. We are the largest democracy in the world. They are not a democracy. It helps them to an extent. Yet, it's a thinking that is being challenged today. Because the youth today of India knows what his aspiration is. There is no doubt. You go around and talk to a whole lot of people, they tell you, yeah, I want to do this. This is my aspiration. And they heard Mr. Singhania saying, you will work hard, you will get many different things in your life, all the materialistic things, because you know your aspirations. Unfortunately, the youth today is not really looking at the aspiration of the nation. When you go to Japan in the 80s, I saw that. And when I went to China in the 90s, I saw that. Their youth is looking for the country's aspiration. Actually, they don't know their aspiration. Because when I've asked the leadership there as to how does this match, this is a disconnect. The answer has been very rightly put, saying, if nation is built, everybody else's aspirations is met. But if individuals have their aspirations and nation's aspirations are not met, you will have chaos. And we see many countries around us, we've seen economically, politically, that happens. A lot of you will be very bright stars, are very bright stars. But trust me, in a corporate, each individual is as good as the team that he or she will lead. There's no doubt in my mind. And I want to give you a cricket analogy here. We have great Indian cricket team, but many times, many over the years, you have seen the team is not cohesive. There are stars in the team, but it's not a star team. Any corporation, anywhere that you go, if you want to be a star, which means you not work as a team member. You will be working on a probably divergent goals, which will not help the organization, which will not help your own cause, and you may shine, but the organization will not. So you really have to build a star team, not a team of stars. It's very important that you take this lesson back home to understand how do you work. You work in colleges, you work together, you work in conjunction. There's no reason for you not to work as far as the corporations are concerned. Let me speak briefly on my own corporation. as to how this was built. I remember we were entrepreneurs. I finished college in 78, I was 18, came from a very different background. The only thing was to be an entrepreneur. Some of you will end up being an entrepreneurs at the end of the day. Some of you will be professionals, whatever you will end up doing in your life. Eventually, it's your hard work. You have to do it diligently. There is no substitute. Anybody who says that, well, I worked hard enough, I'm done with, trust me, you have to step on the ladder, you have to step on the gas, you have to step on the brake. We were 5 people in 1992 when we started this organization. And when we got the first license of mobile telephony in this city, in Delhi, everybody said, you have no chance in hell. This is a game of big boys. How do you compete with the most blue chip Indian companies? And of course, I was very thankful that sometimes when you don't have knowledge, you're better off. And I remember, and these are the triggers that will come in your life also, it really depends if you want in cash time or if you want to work much harder to make it as successful yourself, your organization. As I was leaving the room in one of the meetings, one of the top-notch American telecom companies, one of the managers or executives came up to me. He flashed a card out of his visiting card. At those times we used to have visiting card on Facebook, so we would meet each other. And he said, Mr. Mittal, this is a card. Once you decide to sell, please call me. That really hurt us. That really was a trigger point. I can tell you, if I ever write my memoirs, I'll tell you, that was a trigger point for me to come back and say to 5 people, but we've got something that somebody's able to buy. So we have nothing to lose. Let's put our head together. We have to make sure that the Indian companies are recognized worldwide over a period of time. But this is our shot, we have to do it. And we were 5 of us, me, my brother, and 3 professionals. And I have no reason why they joined us at that time. There must be something that they have looked at as entrepreneurs. But trust me, rest is, as they call it, history. 1994 to 2013 now. In 14, 15 years time frame, we have created a world-class company today. Not because we've done something magical. Not because I bought great technology. Not because I have a great brand. It's just because I have great people. I have great teams. I honor my teams all the time because that's what they have made this company. Because at the end of the day, what is everybody will buy technology. You work in many different areas of your life. You'll be able to build brands, but trust me, that human touch, despite this digital world, nobody, and I can tell you with all honesty, nobody but you who will make this as a successful venture as you go along. As I said, you're embarking on a very exciting journey. Some of you will become entrepreneurs. Most of you probably will go and have a first stint. Even as an entrepreneur, my advice would be, first go work in a company. Learn the ropes, how corporates work. Understand how the dynamics work. It's important for you to learn how this world has changed. Because the world has changed very rapidly. The way we conduct businesses has changed very rapidly. Imbibe the spirit of entrepreneur while you're in corporate. I have this model which I've lived with it. There are many companies that you may want to work. For example, Hindustan Leaders. It's a company which is a professional ground, an ITC. You will see that the spirit of, a completely professional companies in place. And then you'll find on the other hand, which are, led by families, which are really entrepreneurial led. That's a model too. That's a successful model too. There's nothing wrong or right. It really depends on you, each one of you, where do you want to go and what is your mindset. We have come with a model which we call it a PE model, professional entrepreneur model. Clearly, I come from a corporate office now, I work my way through. But clearly today, the professional teams take all decisions. In fact, me and my professional teams, all my businesses, have a very clear fundamentals that these are the 5 things they can't do, rest they should not come back to me. Because if they do not grow out in their jobs, I have to do their job and they'll never be able to grow. So this is the model which is today's world's model. Let the best guy do their job. And to be honest, that's the way it should be. Most Indian companies fail because promoters start thinking they're invincible, they've started this business, they should run the business. Not realizing the 360-degree change in the world which has happened. I didn't get educated somewhere. I finished my graduation, majors in economics, but that's what I started my work. I had no experience. I had no job rotation. I had no clue. Now, when you build a company, you hit a glass ceiling. To break that ceiling, you need all kind of help. You need all kind of good professionals like you who will go up to city management, find a new paradigm, and that's what we did. Otherwise, if you build a corporation, there's no way you'll be able to do it at the end of the day. And most Indian companies really fall. Today's world is also about transformation. This country is done always incremental. If this is a road, we don't know much traffic, let's extend the road a little bit incremental to both sides. It doesn't work. Go to other countries, they will make highways. Cars will follow, businesses will follow. Think transformation. Incremental, there's a lot. Nowhere around the world which nations have succeeded, or the big corporates have succeeded, it's completely transformation. Look at Steve Jobs. Nobody was sacked as the CEO of one of the first companies that he went. People never thought that he'd be able to make a great company. He has changed the world. Transformational, completely out of the box. Who could have thought 10 years back our life would be so digital and our life would be so great? And there are many examples in the world you will find that people have gone completely transformational, and this is what is important. And I always believe at the end of the day that intelligence is important, but trust me, nothing like creativity and imagination. Think out of the box. Go to your boss and say, I believe in this. I think this is the way we should do things. It's different. And trust me, people are very engaging about change. People are set in their jobs, hate change. But that's the way you, the younger generation, the new ideas, the transformation in your mind, creativity in your mind, you must go shake some collar and say, no, this is the way we used to do it, this is the way we should do it. It will change fast. New generation is willing to learn, new generation is willing to understand the other side, and you must do that. Lastly, I always believe that it's important for you to manage when you are at this stage. You will be successful. Surely you will be successful, there's no doubt in my mind, coming from the degree that you are coming from, the few years that you have spent. But when you grow up, you become leaders, it's also important for you to understand how you behave. Most people change. Either they manage things when they are in a different capacity, and when they are successful, they don't know how to behave. That's the first downfall of a human being, leave alone as a professional. Keep that in mind, that as you will succeed, you were in a position and you were in a state where we all were once. It's important for us to recognize that as well. Give back to the society is all as important. Because India is a large continent, while as a country, but you have to give it back to the society. It's very important for each one of us. And I do recognize this chairman, and I was having just a word on the side to understand how this institution has come. It's a great feeling to get private people investing in education, because there's no substitute to education. Because at the end of the day, this is the wealth that you will carry all your life. Wealth will come, wealth will go. This wealth, and I always thank the parents who cut corners to make their children go for education, because this is a lifelong wealth. Keep that in mind. Good luck to you, and good luck for your future. And lastly, if I may say, Mr. Chairman, as I see, and I was meeting all the students, sure enough, we need more girls in this college. I see that skew not being there, and I can tell you that that is also a point where an inflection point for this nation. If girls get educated, you expect more families to get educated. And I always believe, as they always say, God will not be everywhere. That's why I pray with mothers. That's why I'm sure when the education passes through the other side, which is the better side, if I may say, will help the nation, will help generation. Thank you so much.